14 shocking archaeological discoveries that sent chills down scientists' spines. Hello everyone, welcome to the Ancient History Channel. My friends, have you ever wondered what kind of secrets humanity has buried beneath the layers of Earth for thousands of years? The ancient tombs and ruins that seem lifeless and silent are, in fact, telling us chilling stories that defy belief. From perfectly preserved mummies frozen in terrifying positions to human skeletons marked by strange and mysterious rituals, each discovery has left scientists completely stunned, unable to explain what they've found. Some of these things were once believed to exist only in myths and legends, yet now they stand vividly before our very eyes. And the scariest part? The deeper we dig, the more we realize just how dark and mysterious the past truly was. So, what exactly are these discoveries? And why have they sent shivers down the spines of archaeologists around the world? Join me as we embark on a journey through 14 of the most horrifying archaeological discoveries ever found. Mysteries that will leave you both fascinated and chilled to the bone until the very last moment. Let's begin with our first discovery. 8,000-year-old mummy found in a strange position. For a long time, people believed that the world's oldest mummies were found in Egypt, but this discovery completely shattered that belief. In mid-March, Live Science published an article revealing the results of a never-before-done image analysis showing that the oldest known human mummies didn't come from Egypt or even Chile, but from Europe. About 60 years ago, an archaeologist took photographs of several skeletons buried in 8,000-year-old graves in southern Portugal. Researchers said that more than a dozen ancient bodies were discovered in the Sado Valley in southern Portugal during excavations in the 1960s. At least one of those bodies had been intentionally mummified, possibly to make transportation easier before burial. Moreover, there were signs that other bodies buried at the same site might also have been mummified. This suggests that the practice of mummification was already common in this region some 8,000 years ago. The complex embalming techniques used in ancient Egypt date back over 4,500 years, and evidence of mummification has also been found elsewhere in Europe, dating to around 1000 BC. However, the mummies recently identified in Portugal are now considered the oldest ever discovered, predating the previously known record holders, the mummies from the coastal areas of Chile's Atacama Desert, by about 1,000 years. Rita Peiroteo-Stierna, a bioarchaeologist at Uppsala University, explained that while mummification is relatively simple in extremely dry environments like the Atacama Desert, it's very difficult to find evidence of it in Europe, where the climate is far more humid, meaning soft tissues are rarely preserved. Evidence of ancient European mummification was found in a collection of old film rolls left behind by Portuguese archaeologist Farinha dos Santos, who passed away in 2001. Dos Santos had studied human remains excavated from the Sado Valley in the early 1960s. In a new study based on photos taken by Farinha dos Santos more than 60 years ago, scientists discovered black and white images of 13 graves from the Mesolithic or Middle Stone Age. Using these photos, they digitally reconstructed the burial sites at two locations. They observed that the bones of one skeleton appeared hyperflexed, meaning the arms and legs had been bent far beyond their natural range of motion, suggesting that the body had been tightly bound after death. Photos of one skeleton excavated from an archaeological site in the Sado Valley also showed clear signs that it had been mummified before burial roughly 8,000 years ago. What's more, the bones of the skeleton remained connected after burial, even though small foot bones, such as the phalanges, usually separate completely as the body decomposes. Strangely, there was no evidence that the soil around the grave had shifted, which would normally occur as a body's soft tissues decayed. This suggests that decomposition never took place. Tests conducted on these remains indicate that ancient people in the Sado Valley may have performed specific procedures to mummify the dead. Experts believe that the prehistoric inhabitants likely tied the bodies with ropes and placed them on raised platforms to allow bodily fluids to drain away while minimizing contact with the corpse. Another possibility is that they used fire to dry the bodies and gradually tightened the ropes over time as the remains shrank. According to archaeologist Peiroteo-Stierna, if some of these bodies were transported from elsewhere to be buried in the Sado Valley, mummification would have made the corpses smaller and lighter, making it much easier to carry them over long distances. Remains of a teenage couple, buried with gold unearthed in ancient tomb. In 2019, Archaeologists in Kazakhstan discovered the remains of a teenage couple dating back about 4,000 years. The two skeletons were found facing each other, an arrangement never before seen in ancient burials in this country. The pair, believed to have been around 16 or 17 years old, may have belonged to noble or high-status families. What drew even more attention from researchers was the discovery of numerous precious objects buried with them, including gold, bronze, bracelets, necklaces, rings, and gold earrings found on the girl's skeleton. Archaeologist Igor Kukushkin stated that the find was particularly striking because the two were buried face to face, resembling a symbol of eternal love. One theory suggests that the couple might have been deeply in love before their deaths and chose to be buried together in hopes of remaining side by side forever. However, the cause of their deaths remains a mystery that continues to intrigue researchers. Interestingly, near the couple's tomb, archaeologists also uncovered another grave believed to belong to a priestess. She was buried with 7 jars, ashes, and a human skull. While the surrounding graves had all been looted, the priestess's tomb remained untouched. This odd detail led archaeologists to speculate that something inside her grave might have frightened the grave robbers. Furthermore, the number 7 held deep symbolic significance in ancient cultures, adding another layer of mystery to the site. Kazakhstan has long been known as a treasure trove of remarkable archaeological discoveries. Just a year earlier, in 2018, a stunning cache of gold jewelry dating back 2,800 years had been unearthed there. The treasure, consisting of about 3,000 gold artifacts, was found buried in the remote Tarbagatai Mountains. It is believed to have belonged to ancient royalty or a powerful elite tribe. Thanks to these incredible discoveries, Kazakhstan continues to be a major hotspot for archaeological research, offering profound insights into ancient civilizations and the lives of people who lived thousands of years ago. The world's heaviest 2,400-year-old coffin. When it comes to Chinese archaeology, it's nearly impossible to determine whose ancient tomb was the most magnificent or luxurious. Over the years, countless ancient burial sites have been unearthed, each revealing an astonishing number of priceless artifacts, such as the famous Mawangdui tombs or the tomb of the Marquis of Haihun. These excavations uncovered treasures of immense historical and cultural value. However, if one were to ask which ancient tomb contained the heaviest coffin ever discovered, the answer would undoubtedly be the coffin from the tomb of Marquis Yi of Zheng, Zheng Ho Yi, in Suizhou, Hubei province. The discovery of Marquis Yi's tomb shocked all of China. Its scale was several times larger than that of the Han Dynasty Mawangdui tombs in Changsha. Excavated over an area of about 2,370 square feet, the site revealed a stunning collection of national treasures, such as the world-famous Bianzhong bronze bell set of Marquis Yi, an intricately carved jade pendant featuring dragons and phoenixes, and a majestic bronze crane standing atop a stag. These relics are all classified as top-tier national treasures and have captivated archaeologists worldwide. Yet beyond the priceless artifacts, what astonished experts the most was the enormous coffin inside Marquis Yi's tomb. When archaeologists measured it, they could hardly believe their eyes. It weighed an incredible about 18,000 pounds. This made it the heaviest coffin ever discovered in any ancient tomb worldwide. This discovery raised an intriguing question. How could people from over 2 millennia ago, with such limited technology, possibly move an object of that weight? Even modern archaeologists struggled. Several cranes had to be deployed just to lift it from the burial chamber. During excavation, an about 16,000-pound crane attempted to raise the coffin, but instead of the coffin moving, the crane's rear end lifted off the ground. The coffin's lid alone weighed around 4,000 pounds, a truly astonishing feat of ancient engineering. Interestingly, one side of the coffin had a small door, believed to serve as a symbolic passage for Marquis Yi's spirit to enter and exit the afterlife. Marquis Yi of Zheng was the ruler of the ancient state of Zheng, also known as the state of Sui, a vassal state under the Zhou dynasty during the spring and autumn and warring states periods. According to historical records, Zheng was a small kingdom neighboring the powerful state of Chu. Fearing Chu's might, Marquis Yi paid heavy tribute each year, offering vast amounts of gold, jewels, and even beautiful women to the king of Chu in hopes of preserving his kingdom. However, After Marquis Yi's death from illness, his descendants could no longer afford to offer such tributes. As a result, the king of Chu launched a campaign that ultimately destroyed the state of Zheng. Further archaeological and historical research revealed that Marquis Yi was, in fact, an extremely vain and self-serving ruler. Many of the relics found in his tomb bore inscriptions linked to him, but numerous objects showed signs of deliberate alteration. For example, on a bronze plate originally inscribed with his grandfather's name, Marquis Yi had his own name carved over it. In ancient times, this was considered an act of grave disrespect and filial impiety. Even more disturbing was the discovery of 22 coffins inside Marquis Yi's tomb. Among them, 21 contained the remains of young women, the oldest around 26 years old and the youngest only about 13. The tallest woman measured roughly 5 feet 3 inches, while the shortest was just over 4 feet 7 inches. Another coffin held the remains of a dog, believed to have been Marquis Yi's beloved pet. This grim evidence led experts to conclude that the 21 young women were likely sacrificed to accompany Marquis Yi into the afterlife. The revelation infuriated archaeologists, highlighting the cruel and irrational nature of human sacrifice in ancient times, a barbaric custom that persisted in various forms all the way up to the Qing dynasty. The 60-year-old dog mummy that remained perfectly intact. Workers from the Georgia Craft Corp. Lumber Company were stunned when they discovered the body of a hunting dog sticking out from the middle of a hollow oak tree trunk. What shocked everyone most was that the dog's body had been astonishingly well preserved, essentially mummified inside the tree for nearly 60 years, without the use of any Egyptian embalming techniques. Experts believe the hunting dog became trapped while chasing an animal around 1960. It likely jumped into the hollow opening of the oak, but because the space was too narrow and the hollow extended high up, the poor animal couldn't escape or catch its prey. No one noticed its predicament, and it eventually died inside, completely sealed within its wooden prison. But the real mystery puzzled scientists. How could a dog remain intact for decades without any preservation methods? To answer this, anthropologist Christina Kilgrove from the University of West Florida analyzed the phenomenon. She explained that normally, when a human or animal dies, bacteria inside the intestines begin to consume the body from within, triggering decomposition. This is the gruesome part. Microorganisms multiply, gases build up, the body bloats, and bacteria, fungi, and scavengers soon appear to break down the remains. However, the key to this mystery lies in the very material that caused the dog's death, the chestnut oak tree, which also became its perfect coffin. Oak wood contains tannins, a natural substance used in leather tanning that prevents decay. Tannins are natural desiccants. They remove moisture and dry out the surrounding environment. Kilgrove explained that in a low-humidity environment, microbial activity is drastically reduced, effectively halting decomposition. In addition, the structure of the oak created an upward air current, meaning no scavengers or insects could detect the dog's scent inside the tree. As a result, the animal's body naturally dried out and became mummified rather than decomposing. Today, the mummified dog, often affectionately referred to as Stucky, is on display at the Southern Forest World Museum in Georgia. The discovery not only moved those who found it, but also provided researchers with valuable insight into how natural desiccants like tannins can preserve organic remains so perfectly, even without human intervention. A special mummy found among 30 ancient Egyptian tombs. In June 2024, archaeologists and researchers unearthed more than 30 ancient tombs in Aswan, a city along the Nile River shrouded in mysteries from the Greco-Roman period. These tombs are not merely resting places for mummies. They tell vivid stories about the lives and deaths of those who once lived in one of North Africa's busiest trading ports. Specifically, archaeologists discovered mummified families buried together, along with artifacts such as coffins, cartonnage panels, clay jars decorated with grapevine motifs, and small altars. According to Dr. Patrizia Piacentini, an Egyptologist from the University of Milan, this area was once a wealthy and significant commercial hub, reflecting the cultural exchange between North Africa and surrounding regions. The tombs date from approximately 332 BCE to 395 CE, a time when Egypt experienced tremendous upheaval under Persian, Greek Ptolemaic, and later Roman rule. What makes these tombs particularly fascinating is their rock-cut design, featuring multiple levels, some reaching up to 10 stories high, an architectural style rarely seen in tombs from this era. Interestingly, archaeologists also identified a clear social hierarchy within the cemetery. The upper-class elite were buried at the hilltops, while middle-class individuals rested in the lower tiers. Analyses revealed that 30 to 40% of the mummies were children, ranging from newborns to about 2 years old, suggesting that a deadly epidemic may have devastated many families. This theory was reinforced after researchers discovered 2 mummies initially thought to be a mother and child, but later determined through testing to be siblings. To uncover more about the causes of death, the team collaborated with doctors at Aswan University Hospital, conducting X-rays and CT scans. The results indicated that anemia and infectious diseases were the leading causes of death, with some individuals showing signs of tuberculosis, a disease that may have wiped out entire households. Dr. Piacentini emphasized, "This discovery is truly remarkable and full of promise, offering many new aspects we are still trying to understand. These ancient tombs are not merely relics of a distant past, they are powerful reminders of life, death, and the enduring culture of those who once thrived in this ancient land thousands of years ago." The Red Queen in the ancient stone coffin. Over 20 years ago, Mexican archaeologist Fanny López Jiménez and her colleagues made a stunning discovery: the remains of the Red Queen inside a tomb dating back to around 600 to 700 CE in Palenque, Mexico. To this day, experts have been unable to fully unravel the mystery surrounding this skeleton. The remains were nicknamed the Red Queen because the entire body was preserved in a coating of bright red cinnabar, a mercury-based mineral once used in sacred rituals. Adding to the intrigue, a jade bead crown was found encircling her skull. Archaeologists also uncovered hundreds of green fragments believed to be pieces of a jade funerary mask that had deteriorated over time. Covering the Red Queen's body were valuable ornaments, pearls, jade jewelry, and seashells, items that symbolized status and wealth. According to scientific analyses, the Red Queen died at about 60 years old, with a diet that primarily consisted of meat and remarkably strong, well-preserved teeth. However, no inscriptions or identifying artifacts were found in the tomb to confirm who she truly was. Based on the items discovered, archaeologist López Jiménez theorized that the Red Queen might have been a royal woman connected to Kinich Janab Pakal I, one of the most famous kings of the Maya civilization. This speculation arises from the fact that Temple 13, where her remains were found, is a smaller pyramid structure located right next to the tomb of King Pakal. Yet all of this remains speculative. For over 2 decades, researchers have worked tirelessly to determine the Red Queen's true identity, but no definitive answer has emerged. And so, even after thousands of years, the identity of the mysterious Red Queen remains an enigma, leaving future generations to wonder who she really was and what secrets her crimson tomb still holds. The bio-armor found in a 2,500-year-old ancient tomb. Around 2,500 years ago in northwestern China, archaeologists discovered an extraordinary suit of armor crafted from over 5,000 small leather scales, intricately arranged to overlap like the scales of a fish. This remarkable finding has captured the attention of researchers worldwide, shedding new light on the sophistication of ancient military technology. The armor was designed in the shape of a vest, allowing the wearer to easily put it on without assistance. According to Patrick Wertmann, the lead researcher from the Institute of Asian and Oriental Studies at the University of Zurich, this piece represented a lightweight, flexible, and highly effective form of defensive clothing. The armor was later recognized as one of the earliest examples of bio-inspired military technology, a design concept modeled after nature itself. The overlapping leather scales, resembling those of a fish, formed a durable protective surface capable of deflecting strikes, stabs, and arrows. Micah Wagner, scientific director at the German Archaeological Institute, described it as one of humanity's most unique early innovations in body protection during warfare. The armor was unearthed at the Yanghai Cemetery, near Turfan City, on the edge of the Taklamakan Desert in the Tarim Basin, part of China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. The cemetery was first discovered in the 1970s, and since 2003, archaeologists have excavated over 500 tombs there. Evidence suggests that Yanghai was in use for nearly 1,400 years, from the 12th century BCE to the 2nd century CE. Although no written records from the inhabitants have survived, ancient Chinese historians describe the people of the Tarim Basin, known as the Cheshi, as skilled herders, horsemen, and archers. This leather scale armor is considered one of the rarest archaeological discoveries of its kind. Another well-known example of such armor was found in the tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun in Egypt, dating to the 14th century BCE, which remains one of the few well-preserved specimens. A separate leather scale armor, dating between the 8th and 3rd centuries BCE, is currently displayed at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. When restored, the Yanghai armor was found to consist of 5,444 small leather scales and 140 larger ones, likely made from cowhide. These scales were arranged in horizontal rows and tightly bound together with leather cords through small slits, forming a durable overlapping structure. According to Maike Wagner, the design of this armor closely resembles the description given by the Greek historian Herodotus, who wrote that Persian soldiers in the 5th century BCE wore armor that looked like the scales of a fish. Researchers also found a plant thorn embedded in the armor, and radiocarbon dating placed its age between 786 and 543 BCE. What makes this armor especially intriguing is that it differs completely from any other known armor of the same or earlier period in China. A never-before-seen secret inside a 1,500-year-old tomb. While preparing land for the construction of a poultry farm in Germany, archaeologists made an extraordinarily rare discovery that left the scientific community stunned. During excavation, they unearthed an ancient tomb dating back about 1,500 years to the migration period in Europe, a turbulent era when various tribes invaded and reshaped territories following the collapse of the Roman Empire. At the center of the tomb, archaeologists found a large bronze cauldron, believed to contain the cremated remains of the deceased, likely a person of high status or noble rank in ancient society. Archaeologist Suzanne Friedrich from the State Museum of Prehistory in Halle explained, "We are still searching for the remains of this individual." Her statement underscored the significance of the find and hinted that many mysteries surrounding the tomb remain unsolved. Surrounding the bronze cauldron, researchers discovered the skeletal remains of 6 women, leading to the hypothesis that they may have been wives or concubines of the deceased, buried alongside him to serve in the afterlife. However, it remains unclear whether these women were sacrificed or voluntarily took part in this burial ritual. In addition, archaeologists uncovered the bones of 11 animals, including large livestock, dogs, and horses, reinforcing the idea that the person buried here belonged to a high-ranking social class. Beyond the main tomb, the excavation site revealed around 60 additional graves, suggesting it was part of an ancient cemetery dating from approximately 480 to 530 CE, a period following the fall of the Roman Empire when Germanic tribes such as the Huns migrated and took control of territories once ruled by Rome. Among the artifacts found were a glass bowl, gold-plated jewelry that may have adorned garments, a sword, an iron shield, a gold coin bearing the image of Emperor Zeno, and several other valuable items. Archaeologists believe that the decorative glassware with intricate carvings was likely crafted by Gallo-Roman artisans who lived along the Rhine River, as only they possessed the advanced glassmaking techniques required to produce such exquisite pieces. This discovery not only offers a fascinating glimpse into ancient Germanic burial practices, but also reveals the intercultural connections that persisted across Europe in the chaotic centuries following Rome's fall. The remains of the author of Don Quixote. Archaeologists began searching for the lost remains of Spanish novelist Miguel de Cervantes, the author of the world-famous novel Don Quixote, in early 2014. Recently, they made a significant breakthrough when they discovered a wooden coffin fragment engraved with the initials MC, along with a set of human remains buried in a crypt beneath a church in Madrid, Spain. Cervantes passed away in 1616, leaving behind an indelible literary legacy through Don Quixote, a work often regarded as the first modern novel. According to his wishes, his family buried him in a church located in central Madrid, a site that, for centuries, remained shrouded in mystery. However, after the church underwent renovations in 1973, Cervantes' grave mysteriously vanished, leaving experts puzzled. Although the church itself still stands today, the exact resting place of the great writer had long been unknown. Because of this, an archaeological project was launched in 2014 to locate Cervantes' remains. Despite facing controversy for potentially disturbing a cultural heritage site, authorities decided to proceed, and their persistence finally paid off. The discovery of the coffin fragment engraved with the letters MC immediately drew attention, as it provided the clearest clue yet that the remains might indeed belong to Cervantes. In addition to this, archaeologists uncovered the bones of at least 10 other individuals within the same crypt. To verify the identity of Cervantes' remains, the team relied on additional historical clues. One critical detail came from Cervantes' own writings, where he mentioned that before his death, he had only 6 teeth remaining and suffered from battle wounds. In particular, during the Battle of Lepanto in 1571, Cervantes was gravely injured while fighting against the Ottoman Turks. 2 gunshot wounds to his chest and 1 to his left hand left him permanently disabled, a defining feature that would be crucial for forensic identification. The discovery of Cervantes' remains carries not only archaeological importance but also deep cultural and symbolic meaning. As the director of the Madrid Heritage Commission stated, locating his grave is a way of repaying a great debt to the monarch of language. In his honor, the city of Madrid has dedicated an entire neighborhood called Barrio de las Letras, the literary quarter, where Cervantes once lived. Cervantes was not only the author of Don Quixote, but also a man whose life was marked by hardship and adventure. From fierce naval battles in the Mediterranean Sea to being captured and imprisoned by North African pirates, he endured countless trials. Yet these experiences shaped his profound, timeless works that continue to resonate across centuries. This recent discovery marks an important milestone in the ongoing quest to uncover the mysteries surrounding the life and death of Miguel de Cervantes. It is hoped that upcoming scientific analyses will confirm with certainty whether the recovered remains truly belong to the legendary author, allowing the world to honor him fully as the man who forever changed the course of Spanish and world literature. Ancient treasures and mysteries inside a 2,000-year-old tomb. 10 years ago, in April 2011, a construction company working on a drainage project in the Caputra area of Hanoi, Vietnam, accidentally unearthed 2 ancient tombs nearly 2,000 years old and an ancient well about 650 feet away. The discovery immediately drew nationwide attention in Vietnam because of its immense historical value, while archaeologists were thrilled to uncover artifacts that could offer deeper insights into the daily lives of ancient Vietnamese people. At that time, while the construction team was digging about 6.5 feet underground to install a sewer system, the excavator bucket struck a row of bricks, revealing the first tomb. Inside, the tomb floor was covered with a thick layer of mud about 14 inches deep. The workers stopped immediately and contacted the Hanoi Department of Cultural Heritage. When the excavator operator shifted slightly, about 5 feet from the previous spot, the machine unexpectedly hit the roof of a second tomb, cracking part of it open and exposing a layer of mud that filled nearly 1/3 of the tomb's interior. Archaeologists quickly arrived at the site to begin their survey. The initial excavation revealed 2 tombs, one large and one smaller, located at a shallower depth. According to Associate Professor Dr. Nguyen Lan Cuong, then Deputy General Secretary of the Vietnam Archaeological Association, these tombs stood out from all others previously found. Running along the outer roof of the larger tomb was a row of arched locking bricks, a feature never seen before. From above, the 2 tombs looked like 2 fish lying parallel in a northwest-southeast direction, each with fin-like ridges along their tops. The larger tomb's bricks were decorated with ancient coin and lozenge patterns, while the smaller tomb featured mostly fishbone motifs with a few lozenge designs. But the most puzzling mystery was the discovery of 40 ancient Chinese characters carved inside the larger tomb, each combining the radical earth on the left and wood on the right. Dr. Kyung consulted multiple experts in classical Chinese studies, not Sino-Nam scholars, yet none could decipher their true meaning. During excavation, archaeologists recovered 28 artifacts from the large tomb, including 16 bowls, plates, and ceramic vases, both glazed and unglazed, 9 rusted iron nails, 1 blue glass bead, a small rectangular greenish stone slab, and a thin copper bowl that had been shattered. Most intriguingly, they discovered a layer of charred rice and grains at the bottom of the tomb. When cleaning the artifacts later, the team found 2 small bowls filled with burnt rice grains, some of which still retained husks and stems. The grains were round to oval in shape, measuring about 0.07 to 0.1 inches in length-to-width ratio. Inside the smaller tomb, archaeologists found only 5 ceramic objects, but among them was a particularly remarkable chicken-headed pottery jar. Its comb, eyes, and tail were still clearly visible. This was considered the most valuable artifact from the entire excavation. Both tombs lacked any trace of wooden coffins or human remains. According to Dr. Kyung, this was likely because the organic materials had completely decomposed over time, just as in most tombs from the Northern Domination period in Vietnam. Based on the brick dimensions and ceramic styles, Dr. Kwong dated both tombs to the 6 dynasties period, between the 4th and 6th centuries CE, with the larger tomb being slightly older. As for the ancient well discovered about 650 feet away, the excavator had damaged a few of the upper brick layers, but the well shaft itself remained mostly intact. The bricks lining the well varied in age, from the 6th century to as late as the 15th century, indicating that local residents had used it continuously for nearly a millennium. This confirmed the long-term settlement of communities living along the Red River, near the outskirts of the ancient Dai La citadel. The late historian and Hanoi scholar Nguyen Vinh Phuc told the press shortly after the discovery that this area once served as a market town or administrative center of ancient Giao Châu, northern Vietnam. Many Han-era tombs had previously been found in the vicinity. He remarked, "The discovery of 2 ancient tombs and a well in the Saputra urban area is not surprising. Wherever people once lived, there were the dead to be buried, and water sources for the living." He further noted, "If we continue excavations here, we might uncover many more tombs." What makes this find remarkable are several artifacts never before seen in Hanoi, such as a bronze kettle, iron nails, and even grains of rice, all of which paint a vivid picture of a flourishing and prosperous civilization that once thrived in this very land. Turtle fossil and egg. Nest beneath the ruins of a buried city. Beneath the thick layers of ash and dust that have blanketed the ancient city of Pompeii, a place swallowed by Mount Vesuvius more than 2,000 years ago, a strange secret has recently been uncovered. During a new excavation, archaeologists discovered a fossilized turtle and its nest of eggs lying deep under the clay floor of what was once an ancient warehouse. What seemed at first like a small discovery has turned out to be a remarkable window into the daily life and unsolved mysteries of Pompeii's ancient residents. The astonishment lies not only in the fossil itself, but also in where and how it was found. Unlike most remnants of Pompeii, which were buried beneath volcanic ash from the eruption of AD 79, this fossil was located beneath a layer of clay, and evidence suggests that the turtle died long before the eruption ever took place. This fact has led scientists to question the cause of its death. Was it a mere natural accident, or could it be connected to ritual or religious practices of the ancient Pompeians? The deliberate burial of a turtle with its eggs beneath the floor of a man-made structure makes the second hypothesis especially compelling. In many ancient cultures, turtles symbolized longevity, the universe, or fertility. It's possible that the people of Pompeii also regarded the turtle as a sacred symbol of life and creation. If that's true, placing the turtle and its eggs beneath the warehouse floor might have been a ritual act, a prayer for prosperity, or a tribute to natural forces. The fact that the remains were not covered by volcanic ash like the rest of the city indicates that they were buried well before the catastrophic eruption. This means that the turtle was placed there deliberately, perhaps as part of a ceremony, long before Pompeii was wiped off the map. But the surprises didn't end there. Alongside the turtle and its eggs, archaeologists uncovered fragments of frescoes and everyday artifacts dating back to the 1st century BC, nearly 100 years before Pompeii's destruction. These finds help paint a vivid picture of daily life, aesthetics, and artistic activity in the bustling Roman city. The vibrant pigments that survived on the wall paintings still retain astonishing color, depicting mythological tales, scenes of everyday life, and lavish banquets. Images that remind us of how Pompeii once stood as a thriving cultural center of the ancient Roman world. For decades, Pompeii has been described as an archaeological time capsule. a city frozen in the exact moment of its tragic end in AD 79, when Mount Vesuvius buried it in molten ash. Yet this new discovery, the fossilized turtle and its eggs, tells a deeper story. It points to an earlier layer of history, one that predates the disaster, and reveals that Pompeii was a city of resilience, reconstruction, and cultural evolution long before its final moments. From a single turtle and a few eggs, we are once again reminded that archaeology isn't just about golden treasures or grand monuments. Sometimes, it's the smallest, most unassuming discoveries that open the widest doors to understanding humanity's past. Every layer of soil, every trace of life, every ancient creature unearthed is a fragment of a vast historical mosaic, a picture of who we were, how we lived, and the world we once built. The ongoing excavations at Pompeii continue to unearth more of these stories buried in time. And the tale of this turtle may be just the beginning, a small but powerful clue that sheds new light on the mystery, beauty, and emotion of a city long lost beneath the ashes, yet never truly forgotten. The giant circle in the middle of a German field. With a diameter of about 328 feet, this mysterious circle was discovered in a wheat field in southwestern Munich, near the town of Pale, Germany. As soon as the strange formation was found, thousands of tourists and locals flocked to the site to see and marvel at this one-of-a-kind phenomenon. Among the visitors was Rainer Bartesch, who shared that the mysterious circle appeared sometime between midnight and dawn on July 27th, right after a heavy downpour hit the area. He said, "I find these circles fascinating because you can't really explain how they were created." Interestingly, this was not the first time such a circle had appeared in Pale. Back in July 2014, a similar giant formation mysteriously emerged in the middle of another wheat field near the same town. That circle measured roughly 246 feet in diameter and featured an intricate, beautiful design that was first spotted from above by a hot air balloon pilot, who later reported it to local authorities. But Germany isn't the only country to witness such strange patterns. Similar mysterious crop circles have been found in England, the United States, Canada, Australia, Japan, and India over the years. According to Wikipedia, reports of around 10,000 crop circles came from 26 countries during the last 3 decades of the 20th century, with 90% of them located in southern England. Scientists refer to this phenomenon as crop circles, a term used to describe large-scale patterns or symbols formed in crop fields. These designs can stretch hundreds of feet across, creating what appears to be a massive, perfectly symmetrical artwork. Seen from above, the circles display contrasting shades, razor-sharp lines, and astonishing precision, down to the very inch. Yet the question remains, how are these crop circles actually made? To this day, their true origin continues to be one of the world's most captivating and unexplained mysteries. The alien mummy. When it comes to aliens, the Egyptian pyramids, already shrouded in mystery, become even more enigmatic, especially after a series of astonishing discoveries made by archaeologists. Researcher Louis Caporat reportedly uncovered a hidden chamber filled with strange artifacts, including papyrus scrolls covered in hieroglyphs said to convey messages from the stars, dating back to the time of Pharaoh Cheops, Khufu. These writings were believed to be communications between the pharaoh and his extraterrestrial brothers. But the papyrus wasn't the strangest thing Caporat found. Inside that secret chamber, he allegedly discovered a small transparent crystal coffin containing the preserved body of a tiny extraterrestrial being. Shocked by what he saw, Caporat immediately contacted biologist Dr. Braga, urging him to come and examine the remains. Upon hearing the news, Dr. Braga flew straight to Cairo, intending to collect samples of blood, tissue, and DNA from the body that Caporat was convinced was of non-human origin. Unfortunately, Dr. Braga never reached the Great Pyramid of Giza. As soon as he arrived in Egypt, the Egyptian authorities ordered him to leave the country. Not long after, for reasons that remain unknown, the mummy and its transparent coffin were reportedly seized by Egyptian intelligence and transferred to a classified, restricted location. Since 1988, the Egyptian government has never made any public statement regarding this alleged incident. As a result, no one truly knows whether aliens actually exist or why there has been no solid evidence of their arrival on Earth. To this day, the Egyptian authorities continue to keep their silence, and the Great Pyramid of Giza remains a monument filled with secrets yet to be uncovered. The ancient couple, locked in an intimate embrace for 4,500 years. In 2016, a team of archaeologists and scientists from India and South Korea excavated an ancient burial site in northern Haryana, India. What astonished the researchers was the discovery of two human skeletons buried together in the same grave. After 2 years of analysis, the team was finally able to uncover part of the story behind these ancient remains. According to their findings, the two skeletons, dating back 4,500 years, belonged to a man and a woman. The pair was found lying in a close, intimate position, leading archaeologists to believe they were a couple who died at the same time. However, the exact cause of their deaths remains an unsolved mystery. The man was estimated to have died around age 35, while the woman was about 25 years old. Both individuals were unusually tall for their era, each standing over 5 feet 7 inches, and appeared to have been in good health. Tests revealed no fractures, skull trauma, or signs of disease, such as brain inflammation or other physical injuries. Archaeologists also emphasized that burial of couples together was not a cultural or traditional practice of that ancient society. Instead, they believe the two must have passed away at the same time, and naturally, they were laid to rest together. Researchers suggest that this mysterious couple once lived in a large settlement of over 10,000 inhabitants. Their grave was discovered about 1.5 feet below the sandy ground, among 70 other burials in a cemetery located just over half a mile from the nearest modern village. Interestingly, back in the 1950s, archaeologists uncovered another ancient male-female pair, also found lying together, with the woman resting her head on the man's shoulder. A dent on the woman's skull led scientists to speculate that she might have taken her own life after witnessing her husband's death. That's why joint burials like these have always captivated archaeologists. They offer rare, touching glimpses into the emotional lives of our ancestors. Through such discoveries, scientists hope to understand a little more about the people who came before us and the deeply human bonds that transcended even death itself. You see, when we look back at these 14 shocking archaeological discoveries, we begin to realize that the world beneath our feet still holds countless mysteries far beyond human imagination. Every ruin, every skeleton, even a fragment of broken pottery is like a message from the past, telling stories that have been buried for thousands of years. Some mysteries have taken scientists decades of research and still remain unsolved. Others have shaken the world, revealing the dark and haunting sides of human history. Yet, it's exactly these discoveries that make archaeology so captivating, because with just one strike of a shovel, an entire lost civilization can come back to life. And who knows, perhaps right beneath where you're standing, there might be a terrifying secret from the past waiting to be uncovered. If you love mysterious discoveries like these, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, so you and I can continue this journey of uncovering forgotten truths from thousands of years ago. This adventure isn't over yet. It's only a pause before the next discovery. See you in the next video.